Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about why weight loss deadlines don't work. You ever set a deadline for yourself that you're going to lose a certain amount of weight and it doesn't happen ever, pretty much? Why is that? Well, I think it starts with a little story that I want to tell you. And it's one you may have heard before where the kid runs into the karate dojo and says to the karate master, "How long will it take me to get a black belt if I come in here every single week?" And the karate master goes, "It'll take you 5 years." He goes, "Well, what if I come in twice a week?" The karate master goes, "It'll take you 10 years. He goes, "What if I come in every single day?" He goes, "It'll take you 20 years. He goes, "This doesn't make any sense." And the point of the story is that the more fixated we are on the outcome we want, the less energy we have to get good at the things that get us to the outcome that we want to get to. That makes sense? So sometimes when we fixate on the deadline, we don't have the energy to improve the things that are going to get us to the deadline. And this is never more true, I think, than with weight loss, because when people approach weight loss, they have this idea in their mind of how much weight they're going to lose, how quickly they're going to lose it, and what life's going to be like once they get to their goal. And they live in that reality. And they don't put the time and effort into dealing with the here and now. And if you did, you would realize that it's kind of like college. If you went to college or if you've ever done any kind of long-term training program, if all you do is think about the outcome you want to achieve, you're not focusing on the little things you need to learn day to day to become the person who achieves the things that you want to achieve. And so with weight loss, we just want to be told what to do, and then we're going to force ourselves to do it. There's no learning, there's no growth, there's no evolution. There's no recognition of what our issues are and resolving them. There's just us forcing ourselves to do the right thing. And so we never learn the skills. We never learn to fix the core problems that created the problem in the first place. And so when you start to let go of the deadline, what happens? Well, all of a sudden you start to focus on the here and now. And instead of saying, "I just want to lose 50 pounds," and so we start saying, "How can I start to eat better so that I can live at my goal weight for the rest of my life," which is 50 pounds lighter than I'm at now. Now, they may sound similar, but they're not. The more we can focus in on what you're doing today, what you're thinking today, how you're living today, and how you want to improve that tomorrow, that is the path of success, because that's how you get good at anything in your life. Think about riding a bike. It wasn't just, "I just want to ride a bike. I just want to ride a bike. I just want to ride a bike. I just want to ride a bike." Yeah, that was a goal. That was the North Star you were aiming at. But what'd you have to do? You had to break down that goal into right now. What's going on here? Just coast on the bike without pedaling, just get comfortable in my balance. Then I'll start to pedal a little bit and see how that feels. Then I'll put it all together. And so a lot of times, again, nothing wrong with having a big goal. I'm not saying don't have a big goal, but I'm saying have the big goal, but live in the here and now, because your big goal is the accumulation of small goals. And most dieters don't want to hear that. They just want to jump right to the big goal. And what ends up happening is you've probably been trying to jump to the big goal for your whole life, and you're in the exact same spot you always are. And you haven't learned to improve any of the core things that you need to improve in order to live at your goal weight. And you never will, as long as you're only focused on that big goal with that big deadline of yours. So get rid of the deadline. Now, by the way, you may say, "Well, no deadline, then how am I going to motivate myself?" I don't know. Take a step back and think about that. Is mastering your weight, is living at your goal weight and being that version of you important to you or not? Is it or not? Because I'm now bringing the question that my friend Tony Robbins, who I'm a big fan of, asked, and I love this question. How long would you give your kid to learn how to walk? How long would you let them try and learn how to walk before you said, "You know what? I don't think this is for you. You're cut off. You're done." Now, it's a silly question because, of course, there's no deadline when it comes to walking. You're going to practice walking until you learn how to walk, which is why everyone that can walk walks. But when it comes to weight loss, you put these arbitrary deadlines on things, and it creates so much pressure and stress for you that it really does contribute to never getting to that goal anyways. So once you approach your weight loss with the mindset that I don't give a shit how long it takes, I'm going to master this area of my life, which, by the way, is a strategy that the successful people that lose weight and keep it off regularly share with me. I didn't give a shit, Jim. I didn't care how long it was going to take. I just wanted to master this area, and I didn't care about the time frame. Now, when you look at your life, that's the mindset you had that got you through college, that got you whatever trainings or abilities and skills that you have now that you use. Anything that you've done well in your life that you've learned and focused on for a while, it's probably that mindset. And when you contrast that with the weight loss mindset that has this hard and fast deadline to it, you realize the results are completely different. So it might make sense to get rid of your deadlines, because this is important to you or not, then commit to it as if it were. And once you start doing that, I think you find that the whole process begins to change. If you want some support doing this, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself, then get the free hypnosis session I give you. It's called The New Thin Me. It's a weight loss kickstart session. And I got a video to train you in this different way of thinking and approaching this. And I'm here to support you. And all that stuff is for free. So go check that out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. And yeah, we'll get into it. Any weight loss questions are welcome. Anything. If you're wondering why you're struggling, if you're can't even get yourself started, anything you're dealing with, hit me with it. Yeah, because I will give you some perspective on it. What's up, Connie? How's it going? Going in New Jersey. I'll tell you, it's nice here in Massachusetts. They say this surrounded by snow, but it's actually the sun's out. Tony Robbins is the GOAT. Agreed. I love Tony. A big fan of Tony Robbins. He is certainly and I said he's my friend. I'm not actually friends with him, but I've never met him, but I would like to one day. And I'd like to thank him. He is without question a huge part of why I sit here in front of you today. So I would love to thank him personally. Big fan. Let's see here. I saw a question. Well, there goes the color. All right, there it is. Gratitude 108. Can you expound on the importance of cultivating a sense of calm? Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I think that is the foundational piece of weight loss that everyone ignores. And I think it's the most important one. Like literally, I think the most important thing of all of weight loss is developing a state of calm and relaxation. I think that's more important than literally anything else. And I think without it, your chances of success are very slim. And that's why I think Program Yourself, then that's just one of the key components of what makes it so powerful and effective, is that it's built around this. You know, I say this every day, and I'm going to say it again, that hypnosis, you have to realize now, hypnosis for weight loss, I want to make clear, there's different uses of hypnosis that the relaxation of hypnosis is not really that important. But for me personally, when I think of using hypnosis to master your weight, I think of it differently than most people do. So what I mean is that I think of the hypnosis as a practice, and a lot of the benefit you're getting out of the hypnosis in my program, it's an 8-week program. And one core piece of it is that every day you get a 5-minute hypnosis session. It's always different. So it's always different. So you're kind of looking forward to it. It doesn't get to be the same boring thing. It's always built around a different weight loss mantra. And so every morning you're starting with a 5-minute hypnosis session. And I do that for kind of a sneaky reason. I mean, one is obviously I'm putting good stuff in your head, but I think the even more important piece of that is that every day you're starting 5 minutes being calm and relaxed. And I'm going to ask you all, are you calm and relaxed? Because if you're like most Americans, you are living in a chronic state of stress. So I think that when you feel more calm and relaxed, just right off the bat, if you change nothing else, like if you weren't going to follow a diet, if you weren't going to learn anything more about nutrition, if you weren't going to make any other change in your life, if all that happened is I could magically snap my fingers and make you 30 to 50% more calm and relaxed, that alone, I believe, is going to make you lose weight. Because I believe that you in your life make better food choices in terms of what you eat and how much you eat when you feel more calm and relaxed, just naturally. And there's a million reasons for this. So I think being calm and relaxed to me is the foundation of weight mastery. And I find my own eating choices oftentimes reflect my relaxation stress levels. And the more stressed I am, the worse and unhealthier my eating choices are. And the more calm and relaxed I am, the healthier they become. So I have not met a person where that's not pretty much the same thing. Now, I know there's being super stressed out and you don't want to eat, but that's a little bit of an outlier. And so when we're talking about this chronic state of stress, I think that is directly negatively impacting your weight. So again, a sense of calm to me, you think more clearly. Here's another thing. And again, we just normalize to it because everyone's in a chronic state of stress around us in our society. But when you're in a state of stress, not only does it biochemically work against you to lose weight, your cortisol levels go up, biochemically there's other issues, but also psychologically, mentally, your brain doesn't operate at the same level when you're stressed out. You don't think as clearly. You don't think as solution orientedly. So to me, being calm and relaxed is one of the biggest returns on investment you can get when it comes to mastering your weight. And I find like most people just completely ignore this. And as a matter of fact, they run the exact opposite direction when they want to lose weight, because most people are already depleted in a chronic state of stress. And what do they do when they want to lose weight? They just add even more stress on top of it. Do you feel calm and relaxed when you start your diet? I know the answer. And so again, with Program Yourself Thin, it's right. The very core of the whole program is to calm and relax you down, because just that alone is going to help. Listen, and it gets back to a core point that the main challenge you have is not knowing what to do. The main challenge you have is getting yourself to do it. Haven't you found in your life, even when you've tried to lose weight, that when you're calm and relaxed and motivated and focused, that you get better results and do the right things more than when you're stressed out and freaking out? And I mean, that's obvious, right? But it's so obvious. I think it's something we become blind to. So that's why I think it's so important. Karen says, how to figure out maintenance calories. Well, I don't really think about maintenance calories. I think about more maintenance. I do think about maintenance calories, but not in a specific way, more of an intuitive way. And what I do to figure that out is in the program, we structure our eating. So for you, Karen, it's about structuring your eating. And at first, it doesn't matter if your weight's up or down. It's just about getting your eating kind of structured so that it's similar. So you have similar patterns. And I find this to be a very effective way to master your weight, because when you start to eat, now again, in Program Yourself, then we have clean days, pleasure days. But when the clean days have a similar structure to them, breakfast, lunch, dinner, for example, breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner, whatever it may be, we want to make it consistent over those clean days. And then pleasure days, the same thing, where it might be a consistent pattern to them. Because once you have a consistent way of eating that's relatively structured, then all of a sudden you can see where your weight ends up. And now you're in the real world, because the world of calorie calculators is all guesstimates. When you start to structure your eating and you're consistent with how you eat week to week, now you can start to see where your weight's at. And now you can get to work. Now you can look at your consistent eating and you can say, where would be the easy, if you're not happy with your weight, you want to lower it. Now you can look at your consistent eating. You say, okay, where would be the easiest place for me to cut some calories out? But now you're in the real world dealing with your real eating and your real weight. And so again, what you do is you just keep doing that until you get to your core, to the goal weight you want to be at. Now, so for me personally, I'm not a calorie counter. I don't track calories. I track eating behaviors. And so I've gotten to the point where my eating behaviors are very consistent. Monday through Friday on my clean days, I eat the same breakfast, the same lunch, different dinners, but they're similar dinners, similar ingredients, similar quantities. And then my pleasure days are similar week to week too. It's different. I usually have 3 meals on my clean days, 2 meals on my pleasure days, but week to week, my pleasure days, the breakfast is very similar. It's a couple different options, but they're similar in terms of ingredients and calorie amounts, and same with dinners. So now I've got consistency. And now what I did is I slowly cut down the food until it got to my goal weight. And now I just follow my consistent pattern. So I hope that makes sense. So it's not a tracking calorie thing, it's tracking behavior thing. And I think that's going to get you much better success because it's actually accurate. Whereas once you start getting into the calorie game, there's a little, there's estimates, there's guessing going on to some degree. Betty says, with trying to lose weight for the last 45 years, my goal was always for a class reunion, for a vacation, for a wedding. It's insane. That event, that was my motivation, came and went, still the same. Yeah, I could talk about that for hours. The reason why deadlines for weight loss don't work. I mean, I could talk about that for hours because there's so many reasons why, but all you need to know is that it doesn't work and stop doing that. So yeah. And I think the first step to doing that is to realize that it doesn't work, you know. Carter says, I've been doing your dinner and done. You talk about mastering your weight loss you have done. Do you struggle still after all these years, or does it eventually become brainless and easier? Oh, it definitely becomes easier. It's a skill set, so it's absolutely easier. It's way easier for me now than it's ever been. And it continues to get easier and easier. Now, again, in Program Yourself, then we follow the weight mastery pyramid. So again, unlike dieters who are just trying to change their eating and maybe trying to work out more, Program Yourself then is a much more comprehensive approach to mastering your weight. So there's a mindset component, there's a lifestyle component, and there's an eating component. And so I've spent the last 30 years really working and tweaking all the pieces of those three big pieces of the puzzle. And so each time I work on those, it just gets easier and easier and easier and easier. That being said, there are still times of struggle. I was talking, this weekend was kind of a time of struggle. I had some work stuff, specifically that app that those of you know about the app know. But I've been in that for 6 weeks. And so there was uncertainty with it. It was very frustrating to me. One of the most frustrating things in my life is with work, if someone joins the program and it's not the experience I want them to have. And that's what was kind of happening because I was in between two things. And it was very upsetting to me. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I finally decided on Friday, and I crashed. I was very surprised by this, but I crashed physically, mentally, emotionally. This weekend, I felt like shit. And then on top of that, it was birthday central in my life. My 2 kids' birthdays are 7 days apart. And then my nephew's birthday is right in the middle of that. So on top of feeling really low, mentally, emotionally, energetically, physically, there was also all, kind of celebrations going on. And so my eating wasn't as clean. It wasn't as great eating. My sleeping wasn't as good and all the rest of it. So what I try to tell you all is there's never a point you get to where it's like a garden. It's kind of the garden metaphor. You can, when you first set a garden up, it's a lot of extra work. Okay. But you still have to maintain it. And I think in my experience, that's a very appropriate metaphor for your weight. Your weight is a never ending marathon. If you want to master your weight, there's never a point I have found that I can just check out. I can't do that. However, it gets easier and easier and easier. There's more and more and more my strategies and my mindsets on autopilot that just keeps me at my goal weight and keeps me successful. But there's also a piece of always mastering and managing it. And I think that's a very important thing for people to internalize, because I think that you've been sold a bunch of bullshit with the diets that there's this idea that you're going to get your goal weight and now your work's done. It's just not true. There's no way. Now, I think there's ways to make it more automated and more easy as you move forward, but I don't think you're ever done, and nor would you want to be. To me, I love this process. I love that I keep improving and growing and evolving, and it gets easier and easier, and I reach higher and higher levels of it. I am obsessed with that, and it drives a lot of the passion I have in my life in general. It's always something to look forward to and get better at. It's the same way I think about like guitar. It's just, there's always room to grow. There's always more. The yoga, it's always more learning, my work. I love all these things because there's always room to new things to explore and new things to grow on. So, and I think internalizing that's really important, because again, I think if that's such a piece of that diet mindset, and it's so silly when you really bring it up, but people, again, the way hypnosis works, it's not like they're great ideas you believe in. It's that they're ideas you haven't questioned. You just are unknowingly accepting them. And that happens so much with dieting. And one of the big ones is this idea of dieting that you're going to lose the weight and then you're going to be done with it. I lost the weight. And it's so crazy because all of you have lost weight and then put it back on multiple times. But that's how strong the trance can be. That's how strong the hypnosis of dieting is, that you still have this mindset. Well, I'm just going to lose the weight. And then what? That's why everything I say is focused on living at your goal weight, not just getting there. You don't want to just lose weight, folks. You want to get there. And so, yeah, the more you start to approach it this way, it's like guitar. It's like, I don't get to a point in guitar and it's like, oh, now I know guitar. That doesn't exist, right? It's like I keep getting to higher and higher levels of guitar, but if I stop playing, then I go back down a bit, but that's natural too. But again, there is also oscillation. That's natural. And it's the same thing with my eating. There's oscillation in my eating, but there's a trend line of it just keeps. Now, again, my weight's flat lines. I got to my goal weight and I'm just at the same goal weight, but my eating is always oscillating. Sometimes it's healthier, sometimes it's less healthy, but the trend line is it just keeps getting healthier year after year after year after year. And my lifestyle, same thing. Mindset, same thing. So yeah, Carter says, I like the garden idea. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. That's a great question too, by the way. I think it's a great question. Oh shit. Sorry, TikTok, if I missed some questions here. The question things at TikTok's like getting worse. All right, Space Cowboy. Oh, this is a scam. Sorry if I missed your questions there. Sorry, I missed dipshits. This is a scam thing too. I would have loved to engage him a little more, but I probably missed him. Or her, whoever it was. But D says, if you finish the hypnosis mastery program, what should I do next? If not Thrive? Yeah, Thrive is the program. I still am doing the weekly one. So if you want to do that, that includes like a lesson each week and a hypnosis session each week. So that's the weekly. If you want to do that, I still am offering that. So people stay in the world. If you can do the Thrive program, I definitely recommend that. I mean, there's literally coaching calls with it now. So, on Mondays, you can literally, talk directly with me. And I think there's not much more value I can offer you than that. So I definitely suggest the Thrive program, but if financially that's just out of the question, shoot me an email and I'll get you a link to the weekly program, which is $19 a month. But every week you get a lesson and a hypnosis session to reinforce that. I don't get this as a scam a lot, but I love getting that stuff. And I'm always taking advantage of people desperate to lose weight is wild. Again, that's a dipshit take on things. I give more free shit away than anyone. And I'm here every single day to help you all for free. So I don't know what advantage I'm taking. Karen says, okay, got the structure down. Yeah, exactly, Karen. So once you get the structure down, then you just look at this. If you want to lose weight now, then you look at your structure and you say, okay, where could I most comfortably reduce some calories? And then you do that, then see where your weight goes. And then just keep repeating that until you get to your goal weight. What's up, Tabitha? And it says, yes, in proportions. I don't want to go back up. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And again, but that's what I mean. Like once you structure your reading, again, structuring your reading is when you're reading, you want to stabilize that, what you're reading and how much of it you're reading. Right. And those are the two big ones you're paying. I mean, obviously it's how much of it you're reading is the big one. But what you're reading as well, because so it's basically calorie consumed, but you can do it in a more intuitive way. If you want to track calories, knock yourself out too. But most people can't keep that up. So this structured approach is it's got way more of an eye towards the long-term success, He says, I always think I'm working on weight mastery, never that I've mastered my weight. Yeah, exactly, Vicky. That's exactly it. I think the exact same way it's just a never ending process, which I love too, by the way, because I truly believe that the diet mindset, it sets you up for failure because I know you all think you just want to get to your goal weight. But what I think you don't realize is that when you first start your diet, even if you stick to it, what you're doing is you're trading the pleasure of the food for the excitement of the weight going down. Is what I think is happening. And then once you get to your goal weight, what's motivating you? Oh, just being at my goal weight. Well, 95% of people that lose weight on a diet put it back on. So that clearly doesn't work. And I think that our human brains need something to look forward to get excited about. And again, if you want to look up dopamine, this is literally a dopamine driven thing. And dopamine is extremely important to our health and happiness as humans. And I think a lot of dieters, even if you get to your goal weight, what are you looking forward to now? And I think there's a lot of excitement of losing weight that people use to cover up the fact that they don't really like what they're eating. They don't really like how they're living. It's boring and they don't like it. Yeah, they don't know how to manage their emotions. And so with the weight mastery, what we do is we attach our dopamine to we're constantly improving. We take the weight loss rapid and personal development. So it's not primarily about losing weight. It's about becoming the person you want to be. And the weight loss is just one piece of that. And I think when you set it up that way, you set yourself up to be motivated forever. Again, my weight, 30 years, I have the same weight pretty much. I had one blip 12 years ago, but it's the same weight. So losing weight is not a motivator for me. being at the same weight, it is a motivator, but it's not exciting. And so what excites me? Well, it's like I keep refining my mindset, lifestyle, and eating. And that is exciting to me. So I love the journey of constantly, improving and growing and evolving and getting better. That's the path I'm walking. That's when it's really exciting to me. Yeah, because I finally get that, Jim. Yeah, exactly. And then once you get in that headspace, that's the headspace that you want to be in. That's the weight mastery headspace. And it's fun. I mean, again, first of all, I think it's a much better headspace to lose weight. And then obviously you're set up to maintain that and live at it as well. Let's see. Karen says, what garden thing? I missed it. I was just talking, the garden thing is kind of like this weight loss thing. Like when you first start, like Program Yourself Thin, for example, when you first start doing the program, it's a lot more work because it's all new stuff to you. You're practicing the hypnosis, kind of interfacing with that. You're practicing the redo rehearsal technique for the first time. You're doing your weight mastery blueprints, so you're putting more output, more effort out in the beginning. Just like if you started a garden, the first part's the hard part. You got to weed it out. You got to get the soil ready. You got to get it set up. But once you've done that initial output of energy, it gets easier, but you still have to maintain the garden, and so it's the same thing here. You still have to maintain your mindset, lifestyle, eating, and all the rest of it forever, right? Because you want to keep the weight off. You want to maintain your success. So that's the garden thing. It's kind of like a garden. Karen says he's the most genuine guy in here and helping a lot of people. Thank you. That person's just a troll, which I love trolls, but I like the trolls that have a little bit of brains that want to go back and forth, not the ones that just say dumb shit and disappear. But hey. What's up, Joy? Jody says, no scam. This is the best program and absolutely changed my life. Well, thank you, Jody. And it certainly has. I get to see that all the time. So, yeah, but it is funny. I get it. I do understand where that comes from. I think I get it. I mean, dieters, it's like, that's why literally the reason I'm here is probably that person where they're just so apathetic and so miserable now because they've tried everything they possibly can to lose weight and nothing's worked. And I get it. I mean, I'm the exact same way. So I never am mad at people that say stuff like that because I am the same way. Like when I'm scrolling through and I hear anyone talking about weight loss, my instant thing is a bullshit. Because it's like 100% bullshit. So I get it, I'm not, it's not like I can't relate to that person because literally everything you see about weight loss is bullshit. It's funny. I'm reading this book now about Ozempic. And learning some interesting things. Again, my man, Dr. Greger, I don't know if you're really serious about nutrition. Dr. Greger, to me, Greger is the man. I think he is the Michael Jordan of nutritional research. I think he's amazing. Now, again, you got to get by. He believes what he says. So he's a lot of the studies support more plant-based diets. So you carnivores and protein aholics, you might not like what he's saying so much, but in my opinion, he's the man. And anyway, so he wrote this book about Ozempic and it's very interesting. Very interesting. And the biggest thing I've learned so far from it that I didn't know, and I've read books on Ozempic, but I didn't know this one, is that the weight loss from Ozempic so far seems to only happen in the first year. So people are losing weight for about 16 months and then that's it. Then they don't lose any more weight. And so obese people are taking this and they're still ending up being obese because once they kind of get to, there seems to be a floor to how much weight they can lose on this stuff. So that was interesting. That was pretty interesting. That, and again, the rate of weight loss, it doesn't, regular weight loss, normal weight loss of, doing it normally without surgery or the Ozempic, on average, people will lose about 25% of non-fat mass, which means, some of that's muscle, right? So, when you lose weight, part of what you're losing is muscle too. However, with the GLP-1s, they're losing on average, 40% up to 50% of the weight loss is muscle based. So that's a problem. And another thing is too, and I didn't know this, but every time you go through that weight loss cycle of losing weight and then putting it back on, a lot of times the recomposition gets worse and worse. So just one more reason to avoid extreme diets and fad diets that you can't stick with is that it does create a less hospitable environment in your body to lose weight moving forward. So anyways, I like to share anything I'm learning with you because these medicines, again, they are all brand new. Again, I mean, they've been testing it out. They've been testing them out diabetes wise for 20 years, but weight wise for not very long. And yeah, that was one 17,000 people, a 4-year study. And yeah, very interesting that the weight loss only happens for the first year. So that's one of those things, again, I'm so skeptical. I'm skeptical of any pill that just fixes everything. I just don't buy into it. And so I don't think the answer is ever just one thing. So I think that, what we will see is we'll start to see, again, not people. I think, a lot of times too, we see, celebrities are out over-indexed in our society. We see celebrities influence us a lot more than regular people. Obviously, we just see them more. And so a lot of celebrities have been taking this stuff, but they started off not obese. So when you really start to think, like, when you have a significant amount of weight to lose, I think we're really going to start to get a clearer picture that this is not the answer for people that are obese. Because again, what's happening is there's a floor to how much weight people are losing, and usually hitting that in 16 months. Another interesting fact I saw was that the majority of people that start on these medicines are off them 6 months in. And some of that's financial, which is another interesting thing. They, again, if you didn't know, America's a corporate greed fest, which I know you already knew that, but the average cost here is $1,300 a month for it. And the exact same dose and medicine, it's the same company, Danish company, Novo Disc, I think. They sell the exact same dose in England for $97 a month. So, financial, it's a huge investment, and it's a lifetime investment. Obviously, that. Yeah. So, and then the other big thing is side effects. It's an unpleasant reality for a lot of people. So they kind of slowly ramp you up to your full dose, but then you got about 12, 16 months of actual weight loss, and then it seems to plateau out. So again, that's based on a study of 17,000 people over 4 years. So I think, how long has Ozempic really been here? We're going into about the second year now. And I think people are about to bounce their head up against the fact that, because I think it's just like I was saying about how people trade the they trade the pleasure of the food for the excitement of the scale going down, right? I think a lot of people have ignored the negative consequences and side effects of this medicine for the excitement of the weight going down. And I'm curious, and the pain of paying that much money for the weight going down. And I'm really curious. Oh, thanks, Karen. I'm really curious to see what happens to people when they do get into the second year and there's no weight loss and they're just maintaining. I'm curious to see how people respond to that. So again, I mean, it's obviously not the answer. Anyways. Yeah, Katie says, what I've been coached by him since October. It's helped so much. Well, thank you, Katie. Yes. And that person, again, there's nothing worse than the troll just says something and just leaves. Is there anything worse than that one? I miss my people like to argue with me about diets. But yeah, if you think diets work, feel free to share that with me. So I made that point. I just scared them all away, but I'm always happy to talk to dieters. Mickey, there goes the U.S. pharmaceutical industry again, overcharging. Yes, absolutely. It's so fucked up. It's so crazy. Because they were saying, even in the book, he was saying too, I don't know how accurate this stuff is, but he's usually, the stuff he writes, in my experience, has been really accurate. And I take him at his word a lot, because I don't even know how to research what he researches half the time. But he was saying one of the things with these GLP-1 hormones is that there won't be an alternative for up to 20, 30 more years because it's so protected by patents. So I don't know how true that will be, but, so yeah, they sell it all over the world way cheaper, like exponentially cheaper. And that's what they were saying, that they could sell it for like $70 a month and make profit. But of course, see how much they can maximize it. So one more reason maybe. Yeah, usual price gouging. Yeah, they do that shit with everything, which, okay, if you want to do it, well, even weight loss, I mean, really is related to health, but they do that shit with insulin. Maybe they're making it better now. What's up, Shakira? How's it going? You changed my life. Wish you the best. Wow, thank you. Appreciate you saying that. Yeah. No, he's right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's interesting. And again, I don't get on here to shit talk Ozempic because I think in terms of like, options out there, it has, and that's the thing, like it's fascinating because it does get results compared to everything else. But I say this to you regularly that people I do track, like my private clients, when we actually track their weight, a number of them that I tracked last year, they'll hit right in the ballpark of the GLP-1s, the same amount of weight loss. But the difference is that they're now can continue to lose more and they're not set up to have to be on these medicines forever. So, I think the shine's very quickly going to wear off of these drugs. And I think the shine's going to happen once people stop losing weight. And they're going to stop losing weight. I never knew that. I never knew. Because again, they haven't studied this stuff long enough. They've studied it for diabetics. They haven't studied, it hasn't been tested very long for just weight loss. And so, yeah, are people going to want to pay that money? And are they going to want to feel the way they feel when they're not losing weight? And when they can't lose any more weight? We'll see. So as soon as that word gets out, we'll see how excited people are about these medicines. And I know because they get on here, I'm all, lose 50 pounds. Oh my God, 50. And it's like, yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy everyone loses weight. But again, as usual, I'm always zooming out, look at the big picture. And the big picture, he mentions a lot of that. And I don't like to mention this stuff. So I don't like to fear monger, but he goes through the history of weight loss medicines. And I forget the name of the one he was talking about, but it was out there for 8 years. And it was, again, approved as a safe drug. And it turned out 8 years later, they found out it was causing directly related to all kinds of cancers. So again, I'm not here to fearmonger about that because there's no evidence that that's what it's going to do. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that to some degree on these GLP-1 hormones just for weight loss, you are quite the guinea pig. This has not been well tested. And then that's a fact. And so again, I'm not saying there's any evidence that there's going to be any big issue, but there's never fucking evidence that there's going to be some big medical issue with stuff. So, it is one more thing. And then ultimately, again, I think that if you really want to master your weight, you really got an opportunity to really improve your life dramatically, to become the person you want to be, to really improve your life in a very dramatic way, not just lose weight. I know a lot of people don't give a shit about that. They just want to lose the weight. And so, but that's probably not you. Again, I find people that listen to me in any period of time, typically are overthinkers that want to improve their entire life and are willing to do the work to make that happen. John says, why does weight loss slow down the closer you get to your goal weight? Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. The big one being that your base metabolic rate decreases as you lose weight. Okay. Because just carrying more weight around, you burn more energy. Just that alone, right? You're expending more energy the more weight you're carrying for a number of reasons. So your base metabolic rate does go down as you lose weight. And so again, I think you should recognize that though. And again, I think that the framing of mastery over this is so crucial and important because it's a never ending process. I will tell you that I recently, through no intention of my own, my goal weight that I've been at is starting to dip a couple pounds. And what do I ascribe that to? I ascribe it to, certainly my mindset's always getting cleaner and clearer, but I think it's mostly my lifestyle. My lifestyle and my eating is improving constantly as well in terms of the nutrition is just going up and up and up and up and up. But my lifestyle, I would say, is the biggest shift over the last 5 years where I've really gone deeper into my meditation, my water. I mean, all this stuff is just, it's been there. It gets better. It gets longer. So again, I think it's important to have this mastery reference point instead of this arbitrary deadline, because the arbitrary deadline, it's called the planning fallacy. It's a cognitive bias where when we start our weight loss journey, we envision a straight line of success down to our goal weight. And we do this with pretty much everything. Any goal we set for ourselves, we tend to do this straight line fallacy where we imagine starting and getting right to our goal, straight line of success. That's not the way it goes. What happens is it's a jiggity jaggedy line, ups and downs, and Now, again, what matters is the trend line. But with weight loss, typically a person, depending on how much weight they want to lose, typically you're going to lose lose more weight in the beginning, and it comes off slower in the end as you get closer and closer to your goal. And a big part of that is the base metabolic rate going down. But it also depends how you're doing it as well. And so I think if you have a diet mindset, you're expecting that initial calorie cut, which usually people are cutting way too many calories out initially. And they're thinking, I'm going to lose all the weight and then I'm going to bring it up to maintenance. And the only thing I have to say to that is that 95% of dieters that get to their goal weight put the weight back on. So I would say that's probably not a good strategy. It doesn't work very often. So there's other factors. So I think you want to have a holistic, comprehensive approach to mastering your weight. And I think part of that involves your mindset of realizing that this is a mastery process of moving forward. And that a lot of times the things that are going to get you that final 10% to your goal, ultimately, that period of time is probably going to take long. It's almost guaranteed that last 5 pounds is going to take you a lot longer than the first 5 pounds. But so what? Who gives a shit? If you got a mindset of, I want to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life, who cares? If it took you a month to lose 5 pounds and it takes you a year to lose the last 5 pounds, then you're there for the rest of your life. Who gives a shit? What is your rush? So, but there are reasons for it. And so again, I like to think that I just need to get better and better and better and more optimize what I'm doing, and eventually get to the point where you optimize it to the point where you weigh exactly what you want, Like he says, bottom line is there's so much we don't know about the long-term effects of these and other medicines. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no question about that. And there's no question that they're relatively safe in the short term as well for most people. Okay. But there are pancreas issues. That was kind of interesting. They, GLP-1 hormone was initially discovered from the Giza monster. There's a lizard, the Giza monster, and they have in their saliva GLP-1 hormone. GLP-1 hormone, we produce it naturally, but it goes like that. Natural GLP-1 hormone, it kind of comes and it goes quickly. And so that's the problem with the artificial GLP-1 hormones. They couldn't get to last long enough to create an effect, And so this Gila monster one was what they started to base it on because it lasted longer. But then they found out that the Gila monster, some weird shit happens with his pancreas, because I guess there's times when it doesn't eat for long, months at a time. And there's issues with its pancreas. So that's something to keep an eye on. But again, your doctor would keep an eye on that at this point, But again, the bigger difference to me really is, do people realize when they're going on this that you're going to hit a wall of weight loss in a year? So that if you're obese, if you are 150 pounds overweight, you're not going to get to your goal weight on this medicine. You're going to lose probably about 25% of your goal, of your body weight, and then hit the floor. And that's that. So I don't know if people know that when they're signing up for these medicines. Now, if you've got 30 pounds you want to lose and you get on it and that's right in the range, then maybe that's a decision you want to make. But I've never even heard that. And I talk to a lot of people on the medicines. I work with people on the medicines. So I don't know if that's well known out there. And I don't know if that would affect people's choices of whether to get on it or not. We already know you have to be on it forever, right? Because as soon as you go off it, your hunger just comes right back up. But anyways, Son says, how about weight gain as we hit perimenopause? How about weight gain as we hit perimenopause? The same things don't work before I was 38. Yeah, I mean, I think that's legit. I think, our bodies change as we get older to some degree. That being said, there's the Japanese paradox of Japanese women's BMI doesn't change at all their whole lives. Do they not go through menopause? So I do, you've got to take into account, again, this is a mindset thing that goes beyond mindset and goes into the hypnosis land, that our minds are very, very powerful. And if you don't believe that, I mean, every single medical trial proves this, because every single medical trial goes up against a placebo. And every single medical trial shows people that are on a placebo getting the same results as people on the medicines. So our minds are extremely powerful. And the idea that you might be a woman in any phase of menopause who says the same things that work then don't work now, I know it feels true, but Occam's razor says the most likely reason for that is that you believe it. and you're acting differently and eating more calories now. Can physical things happen directly because of menopause? Yeah, sure. But the most likely, and my whole career has been helping women in different phases of menopause lose weight. So I know for a fact that the menopause does not make your body hold on to weight so you can't lose it. I've literally never worked with someone who's worked with me privately that has not lost weight. So I know for a fact the menopause, the PCOS, the Hashimoto's does not prevent weight loss. It contributes to you eating more. And so you put weight on. It affects you mentally, emotionally, energetically, no doubt. But I've seen no evidence of what menopause does to you physically that makes weight loss stop, even if you cut calories down. I've just never seen that. So you would have to educate me on that if you have that information. So, but to that point, we can extrapolate that out though. Let's just take the perimenopause out. How many out there that aren't menopausal or men, how many of you can attest that the same things that worked for you to lose weight in the past don't work for you now? And I'm going to guess that's most of you. Why is that? Well, I'll just give you a different take on it. Is that because it's the classic, who hasn't lost weight? Who hasn't lost a dramatic amount of weight at some point on Weight Watchers, on restricting calories dramatically, on doing some crazy diet? Who hasn't done that in the past? And you lost a bunch of weight, right? And now 20 years later, you can't even get yourself, you say, oh, I can't lose weight on that. Is it that you can't lose weight on it? Or is it that you can't stick with it anymore? And I find most people, they can't stick with the plan anymore because they don't even believe in it. Again, it's not, the times you try and lose weight and you can't stick with it and you quit and don't lose weight, you think those are horrible. But the worst thing that can happen to you is when you do start a plan, you do stick to it, you do lose a bunch of weight, and then you put it all back on. Because then you start creating the belief that even when I lose weight, I still fail ultimately. And I say I would point to that as a way bigger factor in why you're struggling to lose weight now in your 40s, 50s, 60s than menopause. I think you now do not even believe that the ways you've lost weight in the past even work. That's what I believe, which is why I think that if you really have any chance at all of mastering your weight, you need to have a completely new approach, which is why I try to tell you right from the beginning, stop focusing on weight loss is the starting of that new approach. Stop focusing on weight loss and start focusing on living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on your autopilot. And go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session I give you. Start walking a different path. Maybe it's not the path for you, but it's completely free. I give you the hypnosis session free. I made a video for free. I email you shit every day for free. I got new stuff coming out for free if I got the app thing figured out. So I'm going to offer you, the app's going to be free for you as well. So again, my mission in life is to help as many people as possible live at their goal weight. And I'm doing everything I can to make that happen. And I understand financial money to do that. I understand that, which is why I do this every day for free. So I give you all the stuff for free. So I'm here to help you, but don't buy into the idea that menopause is going to prevent you from losing weight. There's no scientific backing in that I've ever seen. And if there is, please send it to me because I'd love to know. I always have an open mind. I'm always willing to, update my thoughts and beliefs and opinions. But I am basing that on over 6,000 private weight loss sessions that I've done at this point. So I'm not basing it. I didn't pull it out of out of the air. I literally, I've been doing this for 20 years professionally. And as you can imagine, the vast majority of my clients are women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So, yeah, so this is very interesting. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. And again, I hope it is interesting to you because there's nothing better than realizing a belief we had is completely wrong. I literally was doing a call this morning and, it's someone I'm working with. And for the last week, one of the things we're working on is them saying, we were working on a state elicitation last week, feeling what you want to feel. And so one of the things I said, okay, I want you to practice this week feeling happy because they go, I haven't really had the happiest life. And I said, okay, focus on this. So we get on this week's go, you know what? Actually, a way happier life than I realized and remembered. I can't believe how much of it I forgot. And the main point of why I had her do this exercise is to give her firsthand experience that a lot of the things you believe and think are completely fucking wrong. And our thoughts can become the bars of our jail cell if we allow them to be. And when it comes to weight loss, the main challenge you have is the beliefs, the negative, wrong beliefs you have about yourself, about weight, about your health, about eating, about all this stuff. You are thinking the wrong things, but you think you're thinking the right stuff. Which brings me back. Am I getting close to this? The Mark Twain quote. It's not what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. And I say this all the time, that your path of weight success really is more about realizing what you were wrong about and doing something different than it is about doubling, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down on what has not worked for you up until now. And that's what dieters tend to keep doing, is you keep on doubling down on the shit that you know doesn't work. I mean, how much more fucking proof do you need that keto's not going to work for you? Do you think the 80th time is going to be different than the previous 79? But humans can really get locked into one way of thinking. So anyways, John says, do you think negative belief systems can be dissolved quickly, or is it more of an incremental process? I think it depends. You know what I mean? Like, it depends. Belief systems, again, just by nature, are systems that have multiple negative beliefs in them. And so I think the bigger the system is, the more, think of it like a jail cell. You know what I mean? It's like the more bars there are, the more we got to kind of break through to break ourselves free. And some belief systems are smaller, and just like a little bit of counter evidence will break them up. So I don't think there's a simple answer to that. And then that makes me bring the next point of what I started with. Say you got an intricate prison you're living in. Well, who gives a shit? Let's get to work. That too. But I don't know. Some things are fast and some things are slow. So that's the thing that's exciting about this. You just never know. Is it one belief shift? So this person, for example, this whole week I said, okay, I want you to focus on eliciting happiness. The way we elicit states, basically, it's remembering times when you felt happy and then going into those memories. Okay. And so what we're doing is we're creating stronger neural connections to the happy memories that you have in your life. And what that has the habit of doing is making you more aware of all the happy times you had and remembering them more easily. So even after a week of doing that, she still falls, I don't think it wasn't that happy. So again, even though she's done it every day, it hasn't broken the system that her life hasn't been a really happy, exciting, pleasant life yet. But if she keeps doing that, I suppose that it will. So to that question, I think that, we don't know how big the belief systems we exist within are. We don't know how close we are to breaking free of them. And so I let go of that question. I don't give a shit. I just want to keep moving in the direction. And that's so much of what motivates me personally, is that I find when I break a wrong belief, my brain's wrong all the time. Your brain's wrong all the time. You trust a very, very fallible machine in your head. And I think that the more you distrust your brain, the more you distrust your beliefs, the faster you'll succeed. Because I think it's your negative beliefs, your limiting beliefs, that are holding you back more than anything else, which is why I think the mindset is such a cornerstone piece of transformation. The problem is not that you don't know. Again, the dieter mantra, right? I know what to do, Jim. I just need to get myself to do it. I think is the most wrong phrase on the planet. You do not know what to do. You have some vague idea of how you should eat, and that's it. You don't know how to impact your moods. You don't know how to motivate yourself. You don't know how to talk to yourself. You don't know how to influence your habits. You don't know how to deal with your emotions. You don't know how to think like a thin, healthy person. You don't know how to live like a thin, healthy person. You don't know how to eat like a thin, healthy person. You don't know how to make your weight loss easy and enjoyable. You don't know how to maintain your weight. I could just go on and on. You don't know shit. You're getting the exact results that you know. You know how to be overweight. You know how to struggle losing weight. Those things you know perfectly. That's why you keep doing them. You do what you know. If you knew how to lose weight and live as a thin, healthy person, why the fuck wouldn't you do that? Let me put it in a different phrase. Say, and I know you know this, you know how to go to a beautiful part of town and you know how to go to a dangerous, shitty part of town. How often do you find yourself just spontaneously going to the shitty, unpleasant part of town unless you had to? Never. So you're giving yourself, you're bullshitting yourself when you say, I know what to do. I just need to get myself to do it. That's completely inaccurate description of the problem. And that's part of what's keeping you trapped in the problem as well. So once you realize you need to learn how to think, live, and eat like a thin, healthy person, it becomes a completely different process with a completely different path ahead of you. And you have never learned that. That's the part I'm trying to say to you, because I'm speaking to you because you're my people. I know that if you're listening to this now and you've listened for more than a minute, that you're probably an overthinker. You're probably a perfectionist. You're probably kind of a type A person. You're probably a real action-oriented person who's successful in a lot of areas of your life and struggle with the weight. Because that's my main type of person that ends up resonating with this. And I'm telling you, you're trapped in the question, what the fuck is wrong with me? How come I can do all this stuff, but I can't get my weight under control? And you're obsessed with that question. And I'm telling you, it's because you have never learned. No one's shown you how to think like a thin and healthy person. So if you want to learn, go click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session. That's first step. First step, it's free. Come on, prove to me you're smart. Stop doing the same shit. Expect a different result. Elaine says, why do you think people seem to want a quick fix to weight loss rather than a slower and healthier way? Oh, that one I can answer. Because we've all been conditioned since we were born by the diet industry. Let's be honest, at this point, diets have been around our entire lives. In the entire lives, that weight loss is dieting. They're one and the same. You ask 1,000 Americans how to lose weight, we're going to hear dieting, surgery, injections. You're not going to hear mindset. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear one person say, lose weight. How to lose weight? No, listen, you want to master your weight. You're not going to hear that. So yeah, we've been sold diets. And how do diets work? They're built, I've studied diet marketing obsessively. Diet marketing is built around this concept called false hope syndrome. So they're always trying to make it seem like you can lose weight quickly, easily-ish, even though we know it's not easy. Quickly, simple, fast. But it's always fast. And it's gotten to the point where subconsciously everyone thinks about weight loss as a sprint. And when you run a sprint, right, the only thing that can win a sprint is perfection. You trip a little bit in a sprint, you've lost the race. And that's how you perceive weight loss, because all you think about is getting to your goal weight, losing weight. And so you think the goal, the ultimate outcome you want is to get to your goal weight, to lose the weight. But that's not true. Because you've lost weight before, folks, right? You've all lost weight and then you put it back on. Do you sit here now overweight, thrilled that you had lost the weight that time? No. You're upset that you put the weight back on. And what you start to realize is subconsciously you're fixated on losing weight. And once you think about losing weight as the goal, well, the next question becomes, okay, let's get it done as fast as possible. I want to get there as quick as I can. I want to get to my goal as fast as I can. And now this is where the diets get you. Because now, if you want to lose weight as fast as possible, then you've got to choose the most extreme method. And that's how you get people asking me questions about, what do you think about water fasting? What do you think about water fasting? Now, in the context of losing weight, water fasting becomes a viable alternative, perhaps, because it's only about getting to your goal. I can do anything for a little while, Jim. Yeah, but can you do it long-term? No. And so again, I urge you all to shift your goal from losing weight to living at your goal weight for the rest of your life on near autopilot. It's a much better goal. It's a much more accurate goal to what you actually want. And it sets you up to start utilizing much better strategies. Because the second you start focusing on living at your goal weight for the rest of your life, water fasting instantly disappears. You can't do that. I can't just drink water for my life. Not eating carbs ever again, eating just meat all the time, it just fades away. And a lot of these extreme things you're trying to do to lose weight fade away instantly as soon as you ask yourself, is that something I could do for the rest of my life? No, and I don't want to. I wouldn't want to do that. And if you don't believe that, I mean, it's the same reason you don't want to start your weight loss plan, because you don't like living that way. Again, the irony of weight loss through dieting is that you're doing it to get to a goal weight, which supposedly should be to increase your quality of life. But the actual process of losing weight for you decreases your quality of life so much that even getting your goal weight doesn't overcome it. Have you ever wondered why you haven't kept the weight off if you've lost it? You ever wonder why you don't start a weight loss plan, even though all you think about is losing weight? It's not a trick question. It's because when you think about no more carbs, your quality of life goes down. You think about not eating for 16 hours, your quality of life goes down. You think about just eating fucking meat, goofy, your quality of life goes down. Counting every point, my quality of life goes down. Counting every calorie, my quality of life goes down. Cutting down my calories down to 1,200 calories, my quality of life goes down, even though you're losing weight. So you have to realize that weight loss is not the end all be all. Your quality of life is more important. And that's what's dictating what you do day in and day out way more than your weight loss goal. And if you don't believe me, then how do you explain your reality that you think about losing weight 24 hours a day and you're not losing any weight? And by the way, there is no gaining or losing weight. That's just an outcome that happens based on what you're reading. So to say you're not losing weight is another way to say you're not eating less. And you don't eat less because you don't know how to eat less in a comfortable, enjoyable way built for the long term. You know how to do crazy shit for a little while, and none of it's sustainable and none of it makes your quality of life better. And until it does, you're never going to do it. Julie says, I loved cooking and eating healthy. Felt great. Why did I completely give up on eating healthy? Yeah. Is that true? Is that current, Julie? Or are you kind of backslide a little bit? Where are you at? I love cooking and eating healthy. Felt great. Why did I completely give up on eating healthy? That's an interesting question. I'd love to know the answer. Tell me the answer, actually. I'd love to know that. What's up, Don? He says, be open to change and possibilities. Yes, absolutely. Don says, I tell you what, the state of America, your calm presence in my ear daily is helping me survive. Yes, I bet it is. And again, I say this all the time, and I don't know where future will take me. I can't imagine that it won't take me out into other areas as well, because everything I'm talking about here in relation to weight is directly applicable to every other area of your life. And so there for a lot of years, I did more general shit as well. Weight loss has always been my main focus, but yeah, I do at some point, I can't imagine myself not having other programs out there that would probably mostly hypnosis based, but for other things, specifically emotions, but yeah, if you're feeling stressed about the state of the world, again, the answer is to focus at least some of your energies on learning how to be more calm and relaxed. Calm and relaxed is a skill, that you can develop. So you can get better at it. I certainly got better at it. A lot of things are skills that we don't think are skills because we're trained. Again, that's a fixed mindset basic, but a lot of people think they are what they are. But you really are what you've been trained to be. You are what you are. I mean, there's obviously genetic factors of things, but the genetic factors almost always pale in comparison to what you've learned in terms of relaxation and calm, your sleeping, your hydration levels, these types of things. He says, Jim's the best tonic for these chaotic, outrageous times. Yeah, I like to serve that. I think that for sure that the program yourself thin. Again, I was just talking about this, but it becomes the foundation of the whole program is being more relaxed and calm. So again, that in the program, we bookend your days. There's a 5-minute hypnosis session in the morning and 10 minutes hypnosis session at night. So you're bookending your day with calm and relaxation. I think a lot of people miss that with hypnosis because they're just fixated on the words I'm saying and the mental effect, which is profound too. But there's also the physiological effect of closing your eyes, turning your attention inwards, relaxing your body, connecting to your breath. That's a powerful practice. That's probably akin to brushing your teeth. It's like brushing your spirit, brushing your mind, your inner energy, whatever the hell that means. But if you do that regularly, you start to change the quality of your life and your ability to relax and calm and stay grounded. And he says, everything you said related to alcohol, do hypnotherapy on alcohol. Yeah, exactly. I've definitely thought that because I had my struggles with alcohol. I was a binge drinker, blackout binge drinker, out of control. And it's this exact stuff that I'm sharing with you that I directly use to overcome that, now I want to be clear. I was an alcoholic. Although people wanted to define me as that, it just never sat with me, but I absolutely was a binge blackout drinker, the worst out of anyone I knew in multiple places I found myself in. So that was real. And I no longer am even close to, I hardly even drink at all anymore comfortably. So yes, I do think that I get people asking me that all the time with the alcohol. One stress I have with that is that I had to make a decision at one point in my career of being kind of a generalist hypnotist, which is what most hypnotists, the vast majority of hypnotists are generalists, and they will use hypnosis to help with everything. And I think there's some value to that. But I think the greatest value comes when someone specializes in something. And that's the decision I made, was to really specialize in weight mastery and health. because, all my stories, all my suggestions, I'm doing hypnosis to you all here. I'm using hypnotic techniques. And so everything I say, my stories, the experience I've had, all of this stuff is built on experience. So I could certainly help someone pretty much the same thing. I could help anyone in almost any area of their life improve. But it's not my specialty. So what I have to get comfortable, I think, is realizing, like, when I go in and want to help someone, I want to be able to truly help them for good. And I think hypnosis is kind of a supplement. So it would scare me a little bit to kind of put a supplement out there, because I know it wouldn't help 100% every person. And that's my goal. But maybe just a bit of help that it would offer you would be better than nothing. And I know it would be. So yeah, I see those things happening. I'm an overthinker, and I got a bit more work here to do on Program Yourself than to really lock it in. But I cannot imagine that once it's locked in, that I will not again make some other programs, because I love doing that. But yes, alcohol will be one of the top ones. TS Day says, how much does it cost to join your program? I'll tell you this. If it's going to be $500, and I hesitate with that because I'm embarrassed to say what I'm about to say, because those of you that listen here, it has literally been a week and a half, but it's because of this app thing. So if you go to Program Yourself, then I still have the old pricing up there, and you can still get the $97 program. Please do not buy that. Don't get the hypnosis only program. If you really want it, go ahead, but get the mastery program. It's $300 still. I have to change that, and I know I will get it changed Thursday, because that's the day I got a lot of work that I'm planning on doing. So there you go. If you can get the mastery program still for $297 at Program Yourself, then it's an 8-week program. It's incredible. You get lifetime access to the live calls we do on Tuesday. And then if you're really serious, get the coaching, and you can even, it's an upsell. You can get that for $1,000 still total. And that's 8 weeks of coaching with me directly. But it's all going up. It is, as far as we know, $500, and it's $2,000 to work with me. That's where it's all going. But a little secretive. For those of you that are on here, you can still get that for that. And I've got to fix that. But I have a good reason. This app thing has been taking a lot of my thing. But the app thing's all set now, by the way. So I'm really excited. So those of you that start the program, you're going right in, you get your reminders right through the app. It's awesome. And as long as you get more awesome, I got cool things coming your way. And for all of you, even there's going to be a free version. So I'm really excited about that, because I'm going to dramatically help you. Primarily, I'm going to help you. I'm putting a program together to help you choose your goal weight. And with that program, I'm going to give you access to Gym AI, which is my clone, my AI clone. It's crazy. It's just like talking to me. But that Gym AI clone, you're going to be able to work directly with that to help you choose your goal weight. And I'm excited about that. So yeah, go click the link in my bio, though. Go get the hypnosis session at the very least. That's free. The videos I make for you is free. Go check that out, and take some action, man. Take some action, people. Don't just let another moment go by without you doing something. Mario, what's up, Mario? How's it going? I was thinking about you. I said, I've been listening on Spotify, but happy to be here live. It's been a while. Yeah. I literally was thinking about you yesterday. And yeah, how things going? Having lots of food noise lately. Yep. Food noise is tough. I mean, again, food noise, I've been dealing with food noise for 30 years. So it's funny to watch food noise become such a buzzword in the weight loss world because of the medicine. But yeah, food noise, I will tell you, I think takes a comprehensive, holistic approach to dealing with it. I certainly do it. And it speaks to another point I want to make clear, that, you'll see studies that Instagram keeps cutting me off in an hour. I know they do it. I feel bad. Julie was over there and I wanted to hear what she was going to say, but anyways, but you'll see studies, and a lot of them are based on The Biggest Loser, where, and Katie, I think that might've been The Biggest Loser, because I remember reading his book, and I swear he was talking about The Biggest Loser in that study. I got to go back and check my notes, but regardless, you will hear regularly that people that lose weight, hormonally, they're still being driven to overeat to get their weight back up where it was. And primarily that's leptin signaling. And so anyways, I think it's important to realize that when you want to master your weight, meaning you want to get to your goal weight and live there for the rest of your life, I believe you need a holistic, comprehensive strategy to make that happen. And dieting is not. Dieting is basically just eat this way. And I think you need to, I think you need to have a much more customized, holistic approach to changing your eating that we do go through in the program. But also you need a lifestyle and a mindset piece of that is the foundation. That's why I use the pyramid model, because there's mindset on the bottom, that supports the lifestyle, that supports the customized eating plan that you come up with. And I think all those things implemented, now you can deal with the food noise forever. But I deal with the food noise. I deal with it. I don't get rid of the food noise. If I start eating some bullshit, here comes the food noise. I start drinking alcohol, here comes the food noise. I start sleeping like shit, here comes the food noise. I start drinking my water, here comes the food noise. You see, there's lots of things that turn the volume of the food noise up, and there's lots of things that turn the volume of the food noise down. I think is a good way to put it. Annie Coco says you're amazing. Well, thank you. I appreciate saying that. Yes, it would be great. Great. I'm still waiting for Jim AI. Tabitha, you should have Jim AI. You might have joined. If you're, you know what I'm going to do? Because I don't think it's fair. The Jim AI, all the Thrive members get access to that all the time. But people that have been in the program, the mastery program, I just started Jim AI. When did I start Jim AI? Probably in November, I think. Because I always remember this because I just gotten shoulder surgery and I'm kind of sitting there half in the clouds on the bullshit medicine. And I don't even know how the hell I found this site. And it was like, oh, make a clone of yourself. And I was like, what? That sounds great. And I literally in that state, I just like uploaded all my shit and I created the whole clone while I was doing that. And so I always remember, so it's been a couple months, but you might have missed that. But what I'll do, I think I'll give everyone access to that somehow. So I will get you that Tabitha. At the very least, I'm going to give away the training. I'm going to call it PYT Spark is going to be a free program that I'm going to give away to everyone. And part of that is going to be how to choose your goal weight, which is going to be a short training I'm going to put together. And then you will get access to Gym AI to help you decide that. Now, it won't help you do everything else. It'll be limited because, it costs me a lot of money having AI, so it's like, and by the way, if you're not, if someone's not investing in themselves, the AI is not gonna make a difference anyway. So it is what it is. But I will get everyone who's a client, you'll get access to it that way. And it'll help you choose your goal weight. There's going to be a new and improved 3 steps to master weight, which I'm really excited about putting out there. And you're going to get a hypnosis session, maybe a couple other ones too. And that'll be PYT Spark and that'll be completely free for all of you. So I'm working on that. I have some of it already out there, but I will, I'll have that coming. And the coolest part is I'll deliver that to you right through the app and you're going to love the app. The app's really, really good and it's only going to get better. So I'm super excited about that. So that's coming. Mario and Jonathan. I was thinking about Jonathan too. I got to see him. I wish I had his information. I would literally write to him. Next time I see him, I'm going to have him text me or something. So I would love to find out where he's at. Mara says, I've been influenced by my friends a lot in so many ways to eat junk food. Mostly it feels like I'm not part of their group if I don't. It's totally like that. Again, I don't talk a whole lot about that, but your environment, they always say like your income is the average of the 5 closest people you hang out with. And I would say your eating is probably similar to that too, to some degree. And it's a challenge, because food is rapport a lot of times. And if all of a sudden they're eating bullshit and you're sitting out, I changed my friend group dramatically. I have not figured out, and I am free to admit this, I haven't figured out how to have the same friends and be the person I am. I wasn't able to do it. So I changed my friend groups. But, so how do you manage it? I managed my family, I didn't give up my family. I learned how to manage my family, staying around them and eating different, but it was a challenge, no doubt about it. And so being around friends, it's a big impact on your eating. So again, but that's where, Mari's a do-it-yourselfer and he listens a lot, but again, he's missing all the cornerstone pieces of the program. So Mari doesn't have like the motivation. He doesn't have the goal that would maintain him through that challenge. And so Mario is less anchored to his goal and he's more at the mercy of the wins of his friends pushing him because of that. But so if he doesn't hang out with his friends, he's able to get better results because he's more focused and motivated. And then when he is around them more, he's less anchored to his goals and what he wants and gets pulled in that direction. So common thing. Has Jonathan been? I haven't seen Jonathan in a little while. And last I did see him, he had put, I think, 14 pounds on maybe or something. So I'm curious to see if he was able to stop it. Again, he's another DIYer. And again, young men typically, and I'll be the first to say, although I don't know, I mean, I have had young men in general, a lot of times have a different mindset than the women that come in the program. Not always, but just in general sense, that there do seem to be some differences in how they use and approach the program. But yeah, young men listen to this sometimes, and of course they're just going to do it themselves. But again, what they're really relying on is willpower. And the willpower thing can only get you so far typically. You know, what we want to do is transform our subconscious mind. So I don't know if Jonathan, Jonathan is someone who listened all the time to the podcast, had a wedding coming up, was going to get married, was super motivated to lose weight for those pictures, went on extreme diet. When we talked about it, I said, okay, do it. You know, who cares? You got a big goal. You'll probably achieve it. Got to that, goes, I don't know, Jim, I'm 6 weeks out. I haven't put any weight on. And I said, hey, great job. You know, hey, who knows? You never know. Got on the week later and said, well, actually, I put 14 pounds on because I wasn't weighing myself. I just thought I hadn't gained weight. So, you know, story as old as the hills, right? Again, you lose some weight and you put it back on because you didn't really change anything. You just got really focused and motivated for a little while, and you can't keep that level up. So yeah, we'll find out. I can't wait to see where he's at, because again, I still want to help him, you know, but we'll see. We'll see where he's at. Tab says, I go to the app for my sessions, waiting to see if I can have a try. Yeah, Tabitha, I'll hook you up with that. I just have to think how I'm gonna do it. But at the very least, you know, when the Spark thing comes out, you'll be able to use it to help you decide your goal weight. It says, also, Jimmy, you've been so true about the maintaining being one of the hardest parts. Yeah, of course. And again, I'm not busting. I love busting Mario's chops here, but I'm not when I say this. But I'm speaking to all you dieters. No shit. No shit that the maintaining is the hard part. Like, and again, I'm joking with you. I'm saying it. I'm trying to be funny here, but no fucking shit. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, you're all in a trance, folks. I'll say it one more time. Maybe I have to say it every day. As a hypnotist, I thought I was going to hypnotize people to lose weight. I didn't realize my job was going to be to de-hypnotize people. And you know you're in hypnosis when you miss the most obvious shit in the world. But no shit, maintaining is the hard part, folks. You know, that's why 95% of dieters lose weight, can't keep it off. They put it back on. You all have lost weight numbers of times. You have not kept it off. So it's such an obvious fact, but you're just blind to it because you're so obsessed with losing weight. And the obsession with losing weight is preventing you from ever mastering, maintaining it. That's why Program Yourself Thin, day one, we're focusing on maintaining, because that's the only thing that matters in my world, unless you love losing weight and then gaining it. If you like doing that, then keep dieting. Okay. But if you want to live at your goal weight, listen, even the goal, and I just want to point this out, and I hope this feels like a cold slap in the face, because I wanted to. Think about how long you all have been trying to lose weight. And I bet it's been decades. And I bet you're obsessed with it. I bet you think about your weight and losing weight more than anything else in your life, I bet. Okay. And I know you're a smart person. If you're listening to me, I know you're smart, or at the very least an overthinker. I already know that. And I want you to realize that as much as you have thought about your weight, and you have thought about it a lot, you haven't thought about anything else as much as you've thought about your weight, most likely. Okay. All that being true, I bet in your life, you have never one time heard or thought that your goal is not to lose weight. No, my goal is to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot. I bet you have never thought, heard, or said one of those things to yourself, or even close to it. And that is to show you how fucked you are if you keep staying on the diet train. Not only do you not know what to do, but you don't even know what fucking direction to go in. You're running east looking for a sunset. Your goal is to lose weight. So what have you gotten good at? Losing weight. And that's the best case scenario. So then once you lose the weight, how does it feel? Do you feel like you've mastered it, now you can live here forever? Or are you terrified that you're going to put the weight back on? And I already know the answer. But again, the main point being that as smart as you are, as much as you've thought about weight, which is a lot, you never once in your life have heard, thought, or said the words, my goal isn't to lose weight. My goal is to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot. And now when you're done crying because you've never even thought that, and it's devastating when you realize that, The good news is that because your goal has been so completely wrong, that once you correct your goal to the actual goal that you want to achieve, you can get much better results. You can finally get off the roundabout. You can finally stop running east looking for a sunset and turn the fuck around and start walking the right path. And the best way you could do that, if you're really serious about actually taking an action step, to the difference between knowing something and doing something is to click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself, then get the hypnosis session I give you. Listen to it. Watch the video I made for you. It's not rocket science. It's not that hard to live at your goal weight. I live at my goal weight easily, and I have for 30 years. I dropped 50 pounds. I've maintained the same weight for 30 years, one little blip 12 years ago, and I do it easily and enjoyably. I love how I eat. I don't track calories. I've never worked out. I live right at the goal weight. Why? Because I've mastered my mindset, my lifestyle, my eating. It's not rocket science. You've just never learned any of this stuff, starting with the point that your goal's totally fucking wrong. Anyways. Yeah. Thank you, Danny. Never once thought about holding it in check after getting the target. Thank you. I appreciate your honesty. And I know that that's all of you. I know that. How do I know that? Am I a mind reader that can read things through a phone? No, it's that I've been doing this professionally for 20 years, personally for 30 years. And I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I think that there's probably no one on the planet. I don't say this lightly. I more and more think there's not a single person on the planet who has thought or helped people master their weight more than me. And certainly no one's talked about it more. And I even thought that reading my friend, Dr. Greger, who I'm such a big fan of, who I think is the Michael Jordan of nutritional research. I think he's the smartest nutritional researcher I've ever met in my life. And even while I'm reading, I'm saying this guy couldn't help people lose weight more than me. I don't think there's a person on the planet that could help you lose weight and ultimately live at your goal weight more than me. I don't think there's a PhD, a celebrity, a doctor. I don't think there's a single person on the planet that could help you as much as I do. And I truly believe that. Am I delusional? I might be, but go check my shit out and see. It's a completely, at least a different take on it. That you deserve that at the least. Yeah, Mario says, whenever I hit my goal, I feel like I deserve to be a big back, and for a whole week I just gain. Yeah, again, I get it, because you never change. I say this all the time, that the core problem you all have, folks, if you're overweight and have been for a while, is that your mindset is an overweight mindset, meaning that when you're not intentionally trying to lose weight and you're just living your life, you're overweight. The things you think, the way you live, the way you eat keeps you overweight. And that's what you do naturally on autopilot. That's what you do. And so when you go on a diet, you're not changing your mindset, because dieting is not a mindset in and of itself. It's an anti-mindset. And what the dieting says, the anti-mindset says, this thing goes, hey, let's have a muffin for breakfast. No. Well, let's have some chips. No. Let's eat this. Nope. And you know yourself down to your goal weight. Best case scenario. But the same problem exists, that you got an overweight mindset and you can't keep dieting. So what do you do once you get to your goal weight? The dieting goes away and the overweight mindset takes over and you put all the weight back on. So what's different about Program Yourself then? It's that we're going right to that mindset piece. What's your mindset? It's your subconscious mind. It's the things you do on autopilot. You know how you brush your teeth automatically? You don't have brush your teeth in your calendar. You're not getting reminders to brush your teeth. It's just automatic, isn't it? You weren't born that way. You trained it into your subconscious mind, and now you just do it automatically. Well, all your eating behaviors run on the same part of your mind. They run automatically. You don't have to remind yourself to go to the fast food place. You just automatically find yourself there eating the bullshit. And it's the same with all your food and your behaviors and your thoughts and your lifestyle. They just run automatically, because your weight is running based on your subconscious programming. Now, you've been programmed your entire life to be overweight. We've been exposed to millions. You've been exposed to millions and millions and millions of food ads your entire life. You live in an over-consuming culture where you're constantly being programmed to overeat. So the only thing you know is how to be an overweight person and how to try and fight against that. You never even considered the concept that you would install into your subconscious mind how to think, live, and eat like a thin and healthy person. You've never even thought of that concept, and you wouldn't have any clue how to do it. But I sit in front of you as someone who was raised to be overweight. My father died at 54 of a heart attack, and as awesome as he was, one of the greatest people I've ever heard or known in my life, he was an eater. That's what people knew him as. He was an eater. Great guy, amazing guy, hard worker, great dad, very generous. People loved him. He was an eater. And he was obese, and he had gout, and he had blood pressure issues, and he had heart disease, and he died at 54 of a heart attack. I was 9 years old. And me, I wanted to be just like dad. So I wanted to eat. And I say this before, the hardest part of my journey wasn't losing the weight. It was finally accepting that I was going to be a thin, healthy person, because now I'm saying I'm rejecting my dad. I know it sounds weird, but we get into a lot of weird stuff when we get into your subconscious mind. But what I'm trying to tell you is that your weight loss approach up until now has been you consciously trying to fight against yourself. That's why every time you diet, it feels like you're fighting against yourself. You are. But what part of you are you fighting against? It's your subconscious mind. You're not a logical creature. If you were, you would be at your goal weight, because you know why you want to lose weight. You know what you should do to do it. But there's some party that keeps compelling you to do the wrong shit that keeps you overweight. That is your subconscious program that was installed there without your knowledge. And so the solution is not to fight against yourself, because your brain's not set up for that. The solution is to install new thin and healthy mindset, a thin and healthy lifestyle, and a thin and healthy eating structure that runs automatically. And it's not that hard. It takes more time than dieting, I would say, but it lasts a lot longer too. So it's a completely different paradigm shift. But again, if you want to go into this, please click the link in my bio and go watch the video I made. I explain a lot more detail. Mario's missed being live here. Yeah, I missed you, Mario. Again, I'm happy to help you out. It doesn't have to be that way. You know what I mean? John says, many out there understand nutrition and health, but they don't have the mindset, emotional, psychological piece. Yeah, I would say that's almost all of you dieters, especially the people that are here watching this. I know you have studied all the studies. You watch all the podcasts. You listen to all the influencers. You've studied this shit up and down. That's why you're tortured, because you're obsessed with the question, what the fuck? I know what to do. I'm a smart, action-oriented person, and I can't get my weight under control. And it is because you have never learned how to get yourself to do the things that you know you should. Your entire weight loss reality has been people telling you what to do, you telling yourself what to do, but having no real practical understanding of how to actually get yourself to do it consistently. And so your weight remains higher than you want it to be. Yeah. Don says, focus maintenance on each pound you lose. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Mario says, it's kind of like, I feel like I've worked so hard, so I guess I can eat whatever. Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, it's not just that, though. It's also the fact that, you know, at some point you burn through your willpower. Oh my, the color on that thing. I look crazy here. You know, it's funny. I can so easily make the color look terrible, and then I can't fix it. Oh, where'd I go? Jesus Christ. Sorry, everyone. I'm still here. I can make it. It just turned totally black. I did that. That was me trying to fix it. I can so easily ruin the picture, and it's impossible for me to fix it. This is so funny. It always fixes itself, but I don't feel like it's fixing itself now. Like you said, worried for years about regaining recidivism. Struggle with that word. It's so funny. I got more people watching now. I guess maybe my face is the problem. I'm getting like, there's more viewers now than there've been the whole time. As soon as I go black, that doesn't make me feel good about my looks. Come on. That's my new secret. I'm going to start hosting just a black screen. I cannot get this screen to come back, and the numbers of people keep going up. That's hilarious. Oh, well, I was almost getting to the end anyways. But I'll just answer a couple questions. Rob says, Jim, what do you do if I'm incredibly lazy? How do I get disciplined? I'm super lazy too. You know, just have to be strategic, you know. Vicky says, Weight Watchers doesn't have enough mindset. No, absolutely. Mara says, looks like you're just sitting in the dark. I'm not sitting in the dark. I will say, like, the people on YouTube are probably laughing right now, because on YouTube and Facebook, it looks just as normal. But on TikTok, it's literally a black screen, and it looks like I turned the lights out, and I cannot fix it. Let me try something here. This is so funny to me. This is something that annoys me so much, because I'm able to I'm able to, I do this all day long because when I'm scrolling through questions, it like makes me change the thing. This is so crazy. Oh, hey, there I am. Oh my God. You know, I did the same thing 100 times. I feel like my mom's like techno challenged. That was really funny. Tapping on the screen and sliding up. Yeah, I tried that, and then it kept like trying to go to. I don't know. You know, sometimes you have the right pressure, but I was here the whole time. That was really funny. It's funny. So weird. Yeah, at least I'm not cutting out of Frozen though, right? All right, I got to get out of here. Sorry, everyone. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome as usual. I appreciate everything you mentioned, and it's a thrill for me to be here and help you out. I hope it does help you out. If you want to get more of this, please click the link in my bio. Go get the hypnosis session. Watch the video. Read the emails I send you. I got more cool stuff coming, and yeah, this is live. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. So if you have questions, pop on here. I'm happy to help you out. And this is also a podcast, so you can listen to this on all the major podcast platforms. It's Program Yourself Then, is what it's called. And yeah, follow me too, I guess, you know, because I put videos up all the time. You never know when I might pop out and help you out. So thanks so much, everyone. Have a super day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.